At the beginning of the film, a Japanese man awakens in a mysterious white room with no memory of how he got there. The big area is completely vacant, with no doors or windows. The bizarre thing is that there is no ceiling either, only an endless void of light shining down from above. The man, perplexed by the entire situation, carefully rises and begins inspecting the location. As he approaches the wall, he notices a strange object protruding from it. The man touches it a few times and then presses the tip, causing hundreds of baby angels to emerge from the walls. They giggle maniacally for a few seconds and then vanish. They appeared in the same manner. They do, however, leave a gift for the man: their beaks. Thousands of these peckers are now protruding from the walls. The man, shocked by what he sees, begins yelling at the top of his lungs. He too begs for assistance, but no one responds. After completing his mini outburst, he begins pressing. The buttons are chosen at random. To his surprise, each of them distributes a distinct yet random object, which includes everything from a small toothbrush to a large bonsai plant. The man also discovers, if he continues to press the same button, the same item will be dispensed repeatedly. After several hours, the room is filled with hundreds of random items. The man has made a pink ball his favorite, and while playing with it, he mistakenly presses a button, which distributes some sushi. This makes the man happy, but he is not satisfied. I was also disappointed to see that there is no soy sauce. He hits various buttons at random. However, all he receives is more sushi. He becomes irritated and begins eating it as is. However, once he is finished, a bottle of soy sauce appears out of nowhere, infuriating him. Later, the man receives a pair of 3D glasses, which he tries on. He notices a baby angel pointing at his pecker. This delights the man because he believes he has discovered a method to escape. Regrettably, when he presses that button, a massive butt appears from above and suffocates him with gas. We notice the man reading a certain manga some hours later. He has completed 5 volumes, but when he hits a button, he disappears, and requests the 6th. The 7th volume is released instead. Angry, he begins pressing random buttons, resulting in the 8th, 9th, and 10th volumes being dispensed. However, one of them, to his surprise, opens a mysterious door behind him. The man is overjoyed that he has finally discovered a means to get out of here, but during his jubilation, he can't remember which button he pressed. So he presses random buttons again, one of which sends an African tribesman running into the room, while another causes water to fall on his head. After many futile efforts, he finally finds the button that opens the door. The gentleman makes a break for it but is unable to enter because the door barely opens for a few seconds. This is when he realizes the tip of the button is crucial to his escape. As soon as it begins to ascend, as the door closes, he must find a way to keep it closed. The man then begins to experiment with various methods to do this. He initially presses the button with his leg. He sits in a run-up position to give him an advantage. However, it is still insufficient to make it to the door on time. Then he pushes himself towards the door with a cart, but the plan is just as bad. He also experiments with various devices such as fly swatters, ropes, and even fans, yet none have any results. Finally, he comes up with the brilliant idea of placing the largest object in the room, a vase, over the button. He drags it there and waits for the outcome, but the pointed pecker proves to be too strong once more. Despite the massive weight on top of it, it continues to rise. Not reluctant to give up, the man devises yet another idea. To make the vase heavier, he chooses to fill it with water. When he presses the water button, however, the water falls on him rather than the vase. As a result, the man returns to filling the vase with sushi. Instead, the vase is finally full after approximately an hour, but it has become so heavy that the man is unable to move it. The vase's neck is also 100 narrow, making retrieving the sushi by hand impossible. As a result, the man is forced to use chopsticks to fetch the sushi, by one. This takes him a few more hours, and when he's finished, he keeps it near the button. By this point, though, the man has forgotten which button goes to the entrance. When he tries one of them, the African tribesman appears and accidentally knocks the vase over, splitting it in half. This drives the man into shock, and he begins shouting like a lunatic. When he's finished, he tries a few more methods to maintain the like burying it with sushi, button down, or by taping it down. Sadly, none of them work, and the man eventually gives up. After waking up from a nap, the man decides to brush his teeth in the following scene. He gets there, he looks for the water button but clicks the wrong one, causing a lengthy rope to fall from the ceiling. This, as an idea comes to him. It makes the man happy. He swings across the bridge using the rope. After hitting the button, makes some space. To his delight, the scheme succeeds, and he is finally able to enter the door. However, once inside, he comes across another door that is locked. He returns to the room just as the door closes after all of his attempts to open it fail. The man is furious because he has failed. Again, in frustration, he kicks the wall and mistakenly touches a button. To his surprise, a key begins to float in the air, presumably the one that opens the secret entrance. However, as in the previous case, it vanishes instantly when pointed. The button's end lifts. Now the man must not only find the key, but also open the first door. He will only need to push 2 buttons to complete the task in seconds. The work is tremendous, but the tenacious man will not give up so quickly. Using the same rope, he attempts to swing his way to the other side and get the key. However, he is unable to generate enough velocity and thus comes to a halt midway. After several efforts, the man collapses to the floor, where he discovers a plunger. This clearly gives him another clever idea. He drives himself along the rope with the plunger, eventually reaching the key. Then he walks to the other side of the room and presses the first door's button, and swings there swiftly. He succeeds on his second attempt and gleefully enters the door. He hurriedly enters the key into the second door and rotates it, but nothing happens. Open. This is when he realizes there is a second lock that requires a 3-digit passcode. In frustration, the man rushes out and throws the plunger. It collides with the wall and presses a button, releasing the African tribesman once more. When he notices the man staring at him, surprisingly, he discovers 3 digits on his forehead. Recognizing that it is the second passcode, he regains his motivation and resumes swinging. However, due to time constraints, he repeats the procedure 3 times, each time for a different number on the lock. Finally, he unlocks the second door. He begins yanking it back because it is a little trapped, but the first door closes at the same time. The man now has insufficient space to open the second door. He was imprisoned in the dark, crowded room. Hours pass, and his rage gradually transforms into fear. He recalls the happy moments he had in the other room, which was large and spacious. He had everything he needed to live and entertain himself there, but he never took advantage of it. The man suddenly notices a breeze blowing through the wall and discovers it has a crack in it. He pushes it and, to his surprise, it slides right off. The man then leaves the room. He enters the room and begins sprinting with whatever energy he has left. He soon encounters a supernatural being. The hallway is floating in the dark. Every door appears to be the same, but the man persists on running for hours, then days. His garment's colors have faded, and his hair has gotten significantly longer, yet he does not stop. Finally, he enters a room much like the one he awoke in at the start of the film. The sole distinction is that the room is gloomy, and instead of newborns, there are grown-up angels. Soon, the door behind him would close. We are transported to a rural village in Mexico, where a young man named Antonio lives with his family. His father, Escargot Man, a professional luchador wrestler, is preparing for his big battle that night. It has been shown that many people have staked their money on him, and that is why he feels nervous. However, Antonio is convinced that his father would win and bring honor to their family. Escargot Man afterwards packs his bags and heads to the venue. He puts on his fighting gear and begins praying there. Hundreds of fans soon begin to arrive in the arena to watch the blockbuster match. Escargot Man's family arrives and enthusiastically cheers him on from the stands. The announcer then spells out the combatants, revealing that it will be a tag team match. Escargot Man is teamed with an inexperienced wrestler, whereas their opponents are dangerous veterans who have never lost a match. The match finally begins in the following scene, and as expected, the deadly veterans gain the upper hand. They begin punishing Escargot Man's partner immediately away, putting him in various locks and maneuvers. They even double up on the unfortunate man, despite the referee's protestations. They then redirect their focus to Escargot Man and start pummeling him with hard blows. However, as they are about to kill him with a steel, the Japanese man in the unknown chamber presses a button on his chair. As a result, Escargot Man's head mysteriously extends like a giraffe's. Using it, he easily knocks down both opponents and wins the match, sending the audience into a frenzy. Meanwhile, the man in the mysterious room notices no change. As a result, he begins tapping random buttons. This drives Escargot Man insane. Mexico. He defeats his own partner, the referee, Antonio, and even the match bell. The Japanese man, on the other hand, keeps pressing different buttons. While it has no effect in the room, it has a significant impact on the rest of the world. While a rock band is performing in Los Angeles, the lead singer abruptly begins throwing fire from his mouth. In Russia, a magician fails to make his assistant vanish, disappointing hundreds of onlookers. In China, a man with many dogs suddenly begins barking at them. During this time, the man hasn't noticed any changes, so he gives up. However, when he examines, he notices several angels floating around the ceiling. This gives him one last thought. Instead of pressing the buttons, he uses them to scale the wall. He advances slowly but steadily towards the light at the far end of the room. And every time he presses a button, something fascinating and unexpected happens. Unique things happen all throughout the world. They range from the very small, such as fireworks in the sky, to the very large, some children practicing karate, an animal devouring its prey, to very serious and significant achievements such as the fall of the Berlin Wall, the launch of Apollo 11, the election of the first black president of the United States, and so forth. Both the man's beard and hair had grown extremely long at this stage. He also no longer has to grip the buttons and can fly like the angels. Soon, he is encircled by millions of feathers and a brilliant light. The next thing he knows, he's in a separate room with a map of every continent. Next to him is a massive pecker with further surprises lurking within it. The film closes with the man lunging forward to press it. Please subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. To assist the channel, enable alerts and leave a like. Thank you for taking the time to watch. See you again soon.